And we are live. What's up, everyone? This is Yuri, aka Russian Prototype. I'm so happy to be here tonight with all of you. Thank you to everyone who's watching live, and hello to everyone who is watching later on. Look, today I wanted to talk about important topic, and that topic is why do men cheat? One of my community members left me a comment on my YouTube channel, um, recommending this particular topic of discussion, saying, "Can you talk about this?" And when I saw it, I was like, "Yeah, I can talk about this. This is a good topic." Um, I want to just dive into my thoughts about the topic, but I also want to bring in and have a conversation with a couple of people, couple of community members, and see what happens. So tonight's topic: why do men cheat? If you would like to join the show, direct message me on Instagram at Russian Prototype. Then leave me a comment in the chat, right here in the chat, hashtag live guest. Okay. So that way I know that people actually interested in joining. So I can check the message, send you a link, and then you can just simply join and be part of a conversation. I'm giving you an opportunity to put your 2 cents in, or 5 cents, or 10 cents, whatever. Make an input of what you think, what do you believe, what do you know, what do you experience, whatever it may be, because I want to hear from you. I think it's going to make the entire show so much more interesting if we have some guests. Speaking of guests, let's see who we have here right now. We have Heather in the house. Thank you so much for joining. We have Felicia in the house. Hello. We have Jamie in the house. Hello. Just a quick reminder that unless you type in a comment, I cannot see you on here. So the only way for me to know who's actually watching right now is for you to leave a comment. All right. I see a couple more coming in. Nick Strauss, hello. Thank you for being here. And Cheyenne, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you hanging out. It's so great to see you all here live with me. And please, 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 please don't be shy. I encourage you to join the conversation. You don't have to stay for long. You can simply share your thoughts and then go on with your evening or go on with your day, wherever you are in the world. And by the way, let me know where you are in the world in the comment. If you're in the States, tell me the state. If you are not in the States, tell me the country, tell me the city. How about that? I think that's going to make things a little bit more fun. So tell me where you're at in the world. I'm in Orlando, Florida. I just flew back today. Um, we'll be coming back to the regular schedule starting tomorrow. Just had enough time to go get a soup from a Mexican place and few groceries for the next week. And here I am connecting with all of you. I must admit, I was missing my community very, very much. I was missing my live streams. I was missing this connection. I was missing our conversations. And I'm just so happy that we able to connect and we're able to do that. So the way I wanted to construct this tonight, I wanted to first bring my live guests. So I know we have one live guest that will be coming in at, actually, you can come in right now. You can come in right now if you want, because I did tell you 9:15, but we can just start right now. Why not? So I wanted to be able to speak with my live guests first before giving you kind of my take on this topic. But I also would love to read your comments. Even if you don't come in and interact with me in real time, I would love to read your comments on this topic. Just answering the question, why do men cheat? And then we can go from there. Let's see. It looks like we have Nessa in the house as well. Welcome. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Heather, Michigan, USA. Jamie, North Idaho. That's awesome. USA as well. Felicia, Alabama, Red State. That's what's up. Cheyenne, Virginia. If you are watching live, let me know where you're watching from. if you're watching from the States, tell me the state that you're watching from. If you're watching from somewhere else in the world, tell me the city in the country. Don't forget to smash the like button. Share this with someone who maybe can contribute to the conversation or who can benefit from this conversation. If you know someone who been cheated on, or someone um, maybe who cheated on someone else, maybe they can be a contributor to this conversation. So how about this? While I'm waiting for my first guest, I'm going to get into my first point that I jot down, and we're going to start. Okay, that way I'm not just mumbling here. Oh, actually, my first guest is here. Let me go ahead and bring her on. She's going to be tested tonight. It's going to be a lot of questions coming her way. Um, should I say a special guest or a co-host? Hi, Felicia.
Hi.
A long time no see.
Yes, long time.
How are you?
I'm good. How are
Good,
you?
good, good, good. Hanging in there. Listen, let's just start with the question.
Hmm.
Why do men cheat?
Opportunity. I actually asked this question to my coworkers because I work around a lot of men. So I see that. And I know that a few guys I work with are married and
Mm-hmm.
also have work girlfriends or work wives, as they call them.
Mm.
So I think me being seeing it more often than most. I see the real raw deal of that.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I think opportunity. Um, and I think a lot of women like don't want to hear it, but I mean, it happens. It's unfortunate, and it's it's just something like like I said, I've seen it, I've witnessed it. So it's not like I wouldn't say a shock, but I mean, it's kind of sad. I mean, the guys I work with, I mean, I love them, but I know they're not shit anyway. I mean, because it's just like you're in a relationship, but you also have another relationship with someone else.
So I actually wanted to expand on that because this is a very, very good point. I can I can see how men take advantage of opportunities
Hmm.
and they jump on these opportunities when they present themselves. Do you see it as opportunity to just have one time experience and come back to their girlfriends, their wives, or do you see it as kind of continuous pattern to where men fall into and they cannot get away from it? The other words, we're talking about one instance versus multiple instances that keep dragging out. I think that's an interesting topic to discuss. What do you take on that?
Yeah, it kind of depends. Um, it's also it's a whole conversation for a different day. With some women are opportunists that you wanna come in there and kind of like home wreck. It's some women are like that, and it's I
Yeah.
mean that's just how it is. But that's a whole different conversation for a different day.
So just to be clear on that, you saying that some women will purposely hunt for men that they like, and they will disregard the
Yeah,
consequences of their actions.
of course I've seen it at work, working at a place where you got men that work for a company and they make all this money, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, this is my opportunity to jump on that, and if I need like a little extra money for gas or food or something like that, I
Hmm.
can jump in on this. And then some men see it as a, opportunity, as, okay, well, she doesn't want much, just the whole, just a little money and stuff like that. It kind of pushes it into another realm of like, I guess, prostitution in a way. But I mean, like I said, I don't judge. It's none of my business most of the time, but opportunity is probably like the biggest thing. And I actually asked like some of the guys because I know it's it's unsettling, but like I said, it's none of my business. I'm not in a place to judge, and I know most of I love them. Like I said, I love my coworkers and stuff like that. But most of them ain't shit. I know that. But I mean, that's just how it is. And some of them, and I know that they have outside relationships of like their marriage or like just regular relationship, and it's a lot of women don't uh they don't want don't want to accept the fact. I'm not saying it's all men, but some men just feel like, and then even with women, when it comes to like if men don't treat them in a certain way emotionally or something, like they're lacking something, men can actually lack that too with emotion and stuff like that. So even though women don't think that way, but like men, like emotion, like if you don't do like certain things, and it's not just sexual things, it's just just talking and like asking like how a man is doing and stuff like that. And just like some men feel like their women don't care. So you got another woman that's just like all up there and just like willing to listen to the man and talk to the man and stuff like that, then there there's a situation where cheating can occur. Because like one thing, like if a man his wife doesn't listen to him, like, or anything, if he says like some shit at work was just bad,
Yeah.
and the wife doesn't want to hear it, and somehow there's some young girl at work that just listen to everything, and it's just like, damn, like she actually listens to me, and like my own wife or girlfriend doesn't.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, and I'm not blaming women for that, but it happens, just like women seeking emotional like attention and stuff like that. Men do that too. They're not openly to express it as us, but when it's just like when men feel like, a woman doesn't care about, like, doesn't like take into any interest of like, their daily life and what they do, outside of the relationship. And it's just like, you know, men reach out in different ways than us women do. So I think that's another thing to take into account. A lot of women don't realize that until it's kind of like too late, and then they start finding out stuff, and then it's just like all bad on both fronts.
Yeah, I like that. By the way, you hit on something that I had on the agenda. I'm going to be talking about the emotional connection
Yeah.
and its role for man later on. So please don't leave if you're watching it live, because I'm gonna break it down for you tonight to the best of my ability. Listen, um, if you're watching it live, what is my likes? I have 5 likes, and I
I
have
gotta get the
people,
likes.
8 people watching. Y'all
Yeah.
sleeping on me again? I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring these glasses.
Like the damn video. Like,
All right.
what are y'all doing?
Listen, I saw the comment from Nick, and I have to put it out, and I want to ask you about this.
Okay.
So he said, and by the way, Nick, before I go into it, Nick, if you're still watching, I hope you are. Um, join the conversation. Join the conversation. Shoot me a text on Instagram at Russian Prototype. I will bring you on because I would love to have your take. This is a good conversation also to kind of engaging. You're talking about high value man. So he said, high value man or good man, period, don't cheat. They have options. What do you take on this? Before I'm even gonna even offer my comment, what do you take on this, Felicia?
I mean, some men like having extra options. I mean, it's not necessarily on the woman that they're in love with or with. It's just the fact that, if they have other women that's like pining for their attention or like gives them any attention, and just like, okay, I'm the shit, obviously. So they kind of gravitate towards that. And it's more of an ego pride type thing. It's And some men, I don't think they necessarily know that what they're doing is like, it doesn't even have to be physical. It can be emotional or stuff like that. Like even like flirting, you know. And like I said, I see it a lot at work. So it's just like, it's not my place to like really say anything because it's none of my business. I just, like I said, I'm an observer, so I see a lot of things. Um, so it made me kind of aware of certain things that people do. Um, but yeah, like I've had situations where I knew like a man was married. Like they'll shoot me like a DM and say like, "Hey, like you want to go out for a drink?" I'm like, "Aren't you going like on like a weekend like excursion with your wife for your like 15th year anniversary?" It's like, why would you do that? That's just so weird to me. But some men like I think some men really don't think it as it cheating. You're just like, oh, I'm just having a drink. Like we're not doing as long as we're not having sex. It's not constituted as cheating. That's what they think. I was like I said, it's not just physical.
So how do you define cheating then? Let's start there. Do you think that if man goes out with another woman to have dinner, um we talked about friends. Apparently a lot of people believe that men and women can be friends, so let's go that route. If a man and a woman go out to have dinner as friends,
Mhm.
is that considered to be cheating? I'm
Now,
not. Yeah, go ahead.
okay. Here's the thing. If you got to be sneaky about it and not say like, okay, if you're going out with if your friend, just your friend, not your cuddy buddy or anything like that. Um, if you're just going out with your friend, then open communication with your significant other is important. So I'm like, hey, this is my friend from high school, elementary, whatever. We haven't seen each other for a while. We're gonna go out for a drink. Okay. And then it takes for that significant other whether they're comfortable allowed for um whether or not it's okay with them. Because obviously you don't want to disrespect the significant other, But you also don't want to I feel like if you're in a relationship and then if you have like an opposite sex friend, you should be comfortable in telling them, like if you're going out to dinner or brunch or whatever, that that shouldn't be. I don't think that's a big deal. Like if
So
it's just
basically you're saying as long as they communicate that and as long as they open,
exactly if
it's not a big deal, right?
yeah, if you say like, hey, I'm going out with an old friend, me and him used to go to school together. Okay, you have that open communication. But when you have to sneak around and say like, "Oh yeah, I'm going with my girlfriend," but you actually going with Johnny, okay, that's a different scenario. Like you shouldn't have to lie about it. You should be upfront about it. You shouldn't have to hide anything because no one should like for you shouldn't have to force a grown ass person to okay, I'm with you, so you shouldn't have any male friends, or I'm with you, you shouldn't have any female friends. No, it doesn't work like that. You should not have to do that with somebody if you're with them. Like just because you're in a relationship with somebody, you shouldn't have to cut off friends from the opposite sex. You should not have to do that. And if you have to do that, then that's the problem. But open communication and just like knowing like, hey, this is a platonic friend. But if you're on the maturity level, you shouldn't even have to explain all of that. That's the thing. Maturity is also a good thing, with people. A lot of people don't really get mature until like age 40. So it's just like, you tell them a certain thing and it's just like, oh, like why are you going out with him? Like, or why are you out with her? Like you shouldn't be going out with any other females. Like I should be the only female you should ever go out with. And that's just dumb.
L- Listen, I want to still talk about this comment. I'm gonna give my take on that because there's a lot of chatter on YouTube about high value man and just how interaction happens between the genders
Hmm.
nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, so to me, when I think about cheating or not cheating, it's a matter of established relationship. I think if there is established relationship in place and expectations um, are there from both parties, then in my mind, if I'm going to go out and violate, the expectations, violate what we agreed on as a couple, whether we're boyfriend and girlfriend or we're husband and wife, now I constituted cheating. If we don't have expectations, if we don't have an established relationship, committed established relationship, then I would not be considered a cheating because there is no mutual understanding, there is no common ground, these boundaries has have not been established.
Mhm.
But I think that without a doubt, high value man, which again, that's something I'm gonna touch on in a little bit, because high value men constitute to kind of winners, you know, these powerful men that end up getting most of females, right? So they're gonna have, statistically, I think it's somewhere like 10 to 15% of men get 85 or 90% of female, because they're so desirable, they successful, they can provide, they good looking, um, they have all these different things that going for them that females are drawn to. And this is where it gets really interesting. It gets very dicey, Felicia, because there's some women who will say one thing, who will be talking about their morals and how she would never do anything and break her rules, but then she will break her rules for this high value man that she would be dreaming of,
Yeah,
you know, and then she would see it. So essentially, females will be telling different stories too, you
oh yeah,
know.
I agree.
Females will some females will tell like, oh, I've never done that, or oh no, I would never do that. And then they see this guy or this man that they're drawn to for one reason or another, you know.
Yeah,
He's,
I
let's just
agree.
call him high value man, just like Nick frame him. They would see this high value man, and she'd be like, yeah, I'll break
Mhm.
rules for him. Or worse, your example from earlier, I'm gonna wreck his home.
Yeah,
You know, I want him.
mhm.
I don't want a guy like him. I want him, and
Yeah,
I do anything to get him.
of course.
So that's a problem.
Yeah, that is a big
That's
problem.
a big problem,
Yes.
and it's problem from both directions. Because in my mind, you can be high value man, but if you violating the terms of agreement, I'm using in quotations, if not necessarily agreement of writing, it's the mutual understanding of established relationship, right? As a man, if you do that, in my mind, you're cheating. But as a female, in my mind, if you're pursuing the guy and you are really not true to what you tell other people, so you portraying yourself as one person, but in fact, you're doing other things when you're pursuing a man that you really do want. So you're putting up this facade. I don't think that's good either. You
No.
know, it's like double whammy, right? Um, so that's my take on the high value man. I'm gonna bring that point back and talk a little bit more about it from a different perspective, but I think the gist of it is very similar.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? I love it. I love the convo. Any other thoughts on this?
Um. I mean, it's just like it takes two person, two people to tango. I mean, at the end of the day, like you're in a relationship, either or, man or female, but we're on men today. If you're in a committed relationship, okay, and you're flirting, openly flirting with this woman, it's like you've already fucked up. Like at that point, you fucked up, and but most men don't really. I don't know. Some men think that you know, a little flirting is okay. See, that's the difference between men and women. Okay, if you flirt as a woman, if my man like flirts with another woman, okay, that's a problem with me. But a man flirting with a woman, like they might not think that they might think that, oh, it's okay. I'm like, just innocent talking. We're not doing anything. As long as sex isn't involved, I can talk to her about anything. Like as long as I'm not sticking my penis in her, we're actually fine because I'm not doing any of that. But we're just talking about it. But it's perfectly fine. Talk and actions are two different things. Some men actually think that that's okay, but
You
it's
you
not.
saying that that's wildly inappropriate?
I mean, yeah, it is. Like, okay, like if you have a wife, you wouldn't go off and say, like, talk to them to go. So, hey, like, how good you are at blowjobs? Like, what is not a conversation you don't need to be having with another woman outside of your wife? But some men do it. The men at work that I work with, they do it all the time. And I'm just saying, like I said, they know that I know that they're not shit. Okay. But like I said, it's not my place. I can't judge. So do whatever you want. Like you're gonna go to hell for this. Like all of them going to hell. But that's okay. but that ain't got nothing to do with me because I'm not married to neither one of them. I'm glad I'm not. But it's just some men think that like flirting is okay. Some women think that flirting is okay. I mean, it's not. Like you have to look at it as I think no flirting is okay. Like even if you're not talking about sexual things, but some men that I've witnessed, think that like talking about sexual things, like even if it's like out in the open, is perfectly okay as long as they're not acting on it. That is fine. But I'm just like, okay, you are talking to her about like giving you a blowjob, hypothetically, but you think that it's okay because she's not actually doing it, like physically. And I'm just like, that really baffles me, and it's weird to me. It doesn't really make any sense. But to them, it's just like if I'm just talking to her about it, we send up hypothetical scenarios in my head, then it's fine because she's not actually doing it.
Are
But
you saying that when women talk, they would not act upon it, but when men talk, they would actually act upon what they're talking about?
I'm like, anybody can act upon it if they wanted to. Like it goes both ways. I'm like, talking about it is just kind of like if I'm in a relationship, okay, and there's another guy that's not my boyfriend or husband, and I'm talking to him like, hey, I'm gonna give you a blowjob. Like I'm even talking about it with him, that's a bad thing. Because it's just like, why would you be telling another man outside of your husband or boyfriend that you would be giving them a blowjob?
Yeah, I don't think that that's appropriate under any
That is not
circumstances.
appropriate.
No, I don't think so.
Like,
I think that's just it's. I don't see the point in it unless you are trying to do something with that man.
exactly. And if you're talking about it, obviously that's come across your mind. You've been thinking about it.
So, did you come across people? Like, I'm interested. Have you come across people, man and female, who were not in a relationship, who were just having these conversations?
Yeah. It's all male locker room conversations I'm always around and I hear, which is kind of, I've gotten used to it. Basically, like, I've heard like how women talk about men and
Yeah.
how men talk about women. So it's just like I've been around that. Um, things are pretty. I'm not surprised about what I hear. Um,
Okay. I that's very interesting to me. Like, what is the point of them really discussing that? Is it's just like a dirty talk? It's just they just talk dirty to each other for no reason.
some men, okay, I'm not gonna say all men, but some men, like, they get in groups and like we'll talk about. Okay, I'll say one instance. When I first started like working as like a team leader, you know, above men. So there was like a situation we were talking, and they were talking about me in
Hmm.
sexual situations,
Okay.
and I happened to overhear it. But instead of just like going in and say like, "Hey, what are you guys talking about?" I sat there and listened for a minute.
Okay.
Like even though I like it could have been bad. I mean, it was pretty graphic.
You sneak up on them.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
listened, and I
Yeah.
just like listened to just like things that we're saying, and like knowing that some of these men have girlfriends, some of these men have wives, and I was just listening to what they were saying about me.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh yeah, Felicia like has like a real nice ass and stuff like that. Like I'll bang her and stuff like that. And I'm just like, well, damn, like shit, like oh my god. It kind of took like I had to bust out laughing because they're just like that kind of took. But then again, I'm the type of woman that was kind of raised like I was raised around men, so it's just kind of like I'm used to like kind of like situations like that. So if you say something like to me, it doesn't necessarily offend me. As long as you don't touch me, that's fine. You can say whatever you want to. I don't give
Right.
a shit. Um, so I was just sitting there listening because I was just wanting to hear like what they were saying. Pretty
Hmm.
much everything. So I'm like, oh yeah, like I'll bang Felicia and stuff like that. Like, I'll make her my side piece and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting up here like, wow, like is that really what they think about me? And, like it's quite interesting. Um, And then I like the sales and I walked away and I'm just like, and then eventually I confronted them. because of course I like to put people in their place. And then I was just like, oh yeah, I heard you guys like, sitting over there talking about me. Like, hey, what was that you said? Like about me having nice lips? Like what, can you repeat that to me? Um, you know. And of course, they clammed up and say like, "Oh no, I didn't mean to like be offensive." I was like, oh, "Okay, I get what you're saying,"
Yeah.
but I just find it like kind of interesting. Like, so y'all just like sit up here and like have like group conversations and like talk like that. Like,
Yeah.
just wondering,
Now, do women have similar type of conversation? Do women sit around the
Oh
fire
yeah,
and talking about like I'm gonna
we
bang this dude?
yeah
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
Then
not
so
all
what
women,
made
but
you so surprised about that circumstance? Because men talk a lot. Men will talk about women that they want to sleep with all the time, and
yeah,
it's not a big deal.
that's true. But it's just like since the fact that it was me, like that was the first time I've heard it was me.
It was
And
you were thrown off by the fact that somebody was talking about you and you were hearing that.
yeah, because like pretty much everybody wanted to bang me, and I was like, oh, but like I don't know whether to feel
Hey, I'm popular.
like, wow, like
Thank you very much.
this is a huge compliment. Everybody wants to bang me. That's awesome. I didn't know what to think of that, but I mean, it's just like I'm not surprised about that. But like when you hear like when it's about you,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh, okay, all right, okay, well, get back to work. I'm not going to take anybody to HR. Don't worry. You guys are fine. But keep it to yourself as long as I don't hear it, that's fine. You can say all you want to. I really don't care.
That's good. That's good stuff. Thank you for sharing that. That's interesting. I can see how it could be a little bit different when you hear people talk about you being the object of either their desires or whatever they referring to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird because I was not like I was ugly and like I'm so socially awkward. So it's just like weird for them to say that, and I'm just like, wait, what? Oh my, they think this about me. This
Yeah.
is really weird, but
Yeah.
also very intriguing at the same time.
Yeah. That's funny. That's really funny. Thank you for sharing it, and thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure. I know you're going to be in town soon, so I'm looking forward to catching up with you. And
Yeah.
have a great week. Okay.
Okay. You too.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that was great as always. Looks like we have the next live guest, so I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on. Hi, Shannon. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool. Um,
Yeah, it's like when you
thanks.
live in a cabin, so there's no light. But
No, that's good. I can see you now. I can see you now.
well, I brought
You
my
live in a
lamp
cabin?
outside. Yeah,
Oh man, that's awesome. I can hear actually like crickets and stuff. All the live animals over there. That's good.
but you can hear
Um,
all that. That's pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah. It's cool. I like that. That will help you to get like really good night's sleep. It's like white noise. It's supposed to be good for like a deep sleep type of stuff.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
yeah. So thank you for coming on. It's your first time live with me. I appreciate it. You're pretty brave. So what's your take on it? Let's just dive in again. I'm kind of asked similar questions so far, but what's your take on the topic? Why do men cheat?
Oh man, I mean, I don't even know really where to start because I mean, there's like a whole variety of
It's that bad,
different
huh?
things you could talk about. But I mean, it just depends. Like I'm the person that talks. I could talk like really deep about certain things. It just really depends if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. No, take it away. Share your thoughts. I
Uh,
mean, you don't have to share things that you don't want to share or go super deep. It's completely up to you what do you want to share. But I'm just curious, what do you take on it?
well, I mean, if we could talk about different reasons. Have you talked about the different reasons yet? As to why?
I think we kind of touched on it a little bit, but we didn't really go like many different reasons. We touched on a couple, but so if you want to talk about that, go for it.
I don't know why, but I keep thinking maybe one main reason they do is because they get bored super fast. For whatever reason, I
Boredom.
don't know. Yeah, I guess. At least around here, that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about anywhere else, but that and there's people who are just, a-holes. I mean,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I have, me personally, I have dated someone who has talked to like 3 or 4 different girls at once, and he was just messing around with them like in a big circle. I don't know, but
So actually, let's stay there. You said the first thing is boredom. Why do you think
yeah,
that is? Like, if you had to get in man's mind, and if you had to just make an educated guess as to why man would get bored, what would you say?
why? I mean, I was watching a couple of your videos over last night, and you said laziness was a big one. I guess, but or maybe you just kind of stopped, having fun together, or they wanted you to do like a certain thing every single day, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but
No, it does.
I mean, like, they expect you to cater to them every day, you know what I'm saying? But they don't really give anything back. And then once you stop doing that, they just like, okay, I'm just going to move on to the next one.
You feel like so let me make sure I understand. You feel like in a lot of situations women cater to man, but men don't give the same amount of effort back.
Yeah, that or they just don't try at all. They're like, okay, she's here for my entertainment, not the other way around at all. At least that's my experience. But, like, I don't know. Especially, like around here, all I see is they're not really, interested in anything else other than their own needs. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah, they're selfish.
Oh, yeah, really selfish, at least around here.
So with that, do do you think that just has to do solely with the man that you are dating, or do you think it has partially to do with the fact that maybe expectations not being set very firmly?
Well, is there a such thing as expectations being set too high? Like expected from one girl? Because, I mean, if they want this, perfect girl who does, everything perfect every day, and then as soon as she messes up, she's no longer, good to him in his book, if that makes sense. Like if she stops doing like one thing that he likes, he'll get mad about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that, you know, but and then
So let me add something here because I think it's very good, interesting thought, and I think it'll bring some value to people. I think on some of the earlier live streams, like maybe even a couple months back, I was talking about how a piece of comedy that Chris Rock did, and Chris Rock was joking about it, saying that men cannot go back sexually, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think that if a woman chooses to introduce a man to something in terms of intimacy, right? So you're doing something with a man and man likes it, it is very difficult for a man to go back to not doing it. The other words, like man, I think you will find that majority of man will have these desires. If they really enjoy whatever you did with him, he will have those desires and he will kind of push his woman to do those things with him. Now, do I think that if you do this thing once and you did not like it, you have to do it again just because he liked it? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that I think people, it's important for people to understand that this is kind of part of man's psychology. And if I almost feel like if you have a gut feeling as a woman that you're not going to want to do these things that he's asking you to try, maybe don't even try those things in the first place. That's number one. Number two, I think it also will come down to a man. I think that if man has multiple levels of connection with you, if it's not just sexual points of connection, in my mind, I would imagine that, man would be able to overlook some of these things. The other words, if I like you and I connect with you because I like who you are as a person, I like your physical appearance, I like to spend time with you, I feel peaceful with you, I like going on vacations with you, then if you do one thing, that's not going to deter me from continuing relationship with you. It just does not make a whole lot of sense. So in my mind, when I hear things like that, in my mind, well, does this man only like you because of this one thing, right? And when you take that one thing away, is he automatically no longer interested?
Well, if I could bring up the point of, I mean, it kind of goes along with it, but what if he's like really, you didn't know it at the time, but he's like super manipulative and kind of abusive in a way, but you didn't know it until later, and it was kind of too late, and then he kept going, back and forth, kind of playing with your head. You know what I mean?
I do. That's
And you just have no idea what's going on at all.
Yeah. I think in my opinion that the moment that you recognize this, you have a choice to make. You know, because there will be, because obviously, obviously there will be a moment in which you recognize, okay, this man is abusive, this man is causing me certain harm. Maybe it's psychological harm, but maybe psychological abuse, whatever it may be. So I think at that point is like, how do you proceed forward? Are you going to continue with this man? Are you going to try to get a therapy with him, or a good deep conversation, and you trying to work with him, or you're going to choose part ways? Because quite frankly, I just don't think that if you noticing like abuse, I don't do well with abuse, any type of abuse. So I'm not proponent of abuse in any way, shape, or form. So I know people might not agree with that, and that's fine. I'm not saying that everybody should feel the same way that I do, but I just don't see, from my perspective, I don't see a balanced relationship where one person is constantly imposing abuse on another person, whether it is a mental abuse, psychological abuse, or God forbid, physical abuse. None of that. I just don't think that I think it's dead end.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, have you ever been so deep in a relationship with someone, or at least so deep in love with someone, where you thought, and you just thought, okay, I'll just kind of shoulder what he's doing, or you're kind of blind to what he's doing, that you just let it happen anyway. You don't think anything about it, and it just keeps getting worse down the line, but you don't realize it until it's too late, you know?
So when you say too deep in a relationship, can you define that for me? What does it mean? Does it mean you have family, you have children? Does it mean you just been intimate for 6 months? What does it mean too deep?
Uh, it's pretty much to the point where we were almost going to get married, but we didn't because, there at the last minute, he started, showing himself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then he kind of told me all the truth and stuff at once, and that kind of sucked. I'm like, really? But in the process, he was going like back and forth, kind of like, a cat with a cat toy, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't realize it at the time. So he got away with a lot of stuff that I wish I realized when I was with him. But
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
how
over with
many?
now, though.
Yeah, how many years were you together?
Well, we were only together for like about a year and a half, but a lot of stuff happened in that year and a half.
Right.
So I mean, I don't want to get into it, but
Of course, no, you don't have to. I'm just trying to gauge, like, because I'm assuming you didn't have kids, did you?
no,
Okay,
almost, but no.
but so are you telling me? Correct me if. Whoop, my mic almost fell. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you telling me that you felt that you've always gone to a point of no return with him. Uh, you've been together for a year and a half. You not married. You don't have kids, but you just felt the incredibly strong emotional connection with him, and because of that, you felt that way. Is that kind of what you were experiencing?
Well, that's what he made me feel, anyways. I could put it that way. He kind of, I want to say, I guess the word is tricked me into, because he kind of used me a lot too. Like he would get me to, he would say things and do things and all this stuff to, keep me around because he needed stuff done or he wanted me to do stuff for him,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And then, all of this didn't really come to light, at least not to me, until way later, which just made it like 10 times worse. So, yeah.
Yeah,
By the
yeah.
way,
Well, I'm sorry you experienced that. First of all, I mean that does not sound like fun, and thank you for sharing that, for being vulnerable. I know that's not easy to talk about these things. I appreciate that. But I mean, I guess without really going deep, I mean, do you still feel that way, or do you feel like, or what happened with him, if you don't mind meaning, like, are you actually with him, or you moved on from this relationship?
oh no, I've moved on. It's been about 4 years ago now. So
S-
it's been a while, but I mean, I still remember it like it was yesterday. It kind of sucked.
of
Uh,
course, of course.
I mean, I don't mind to say it, but I hate to say it, but at times he got to the point where he would get a very short temper, and if I do one thing or say one thing that he didn't like, I would I would actually get slapped or something, which was not fun.
That's terrible.
And
That's
then
absolutely.
the bad thing is, I still I loved him because I was trying to find all the good in him that I could. Of course, I didn't see it at the time. So,
So
but it's all good now.
look, I'm glad that you got out of it, because I don't. I think no one should experience physical abuse. How? Um, so I'm wondering, based on what you told me, how did you find a way? How did you overcome? Because I think in the beginning you said you like you were at the point where you felt like he kind of mentally and emotionally got a hold of you. So you were able to move on. You were able to overcome that situation. So how did you? I mean, what happened that made you realize that it was time to move on?
Oh man, when all this finally started with me trying to move on and stuff, it was really hard because at the same time I was still, unfortunately, like seeing him, like back and forth, which was a big mistake. First off, it got so bad emotionally for me to the point where but we were working at the same job, and then I finally had to move away from that job to another one, and then to another job after that because I was so depressed. I know job hopping doesn't really help, but and then people tried to get me to go to therapy for it. I was like, no. So I just kind of try to distract myself anywhere I could, like listen to music or go for a drive, play games, stuff like that. Because talking to other people at the time were I was still in love with him and wanted to be with him, I didn't want to listen to anybody because I was being, stubborn. I was like, oh no, he'll change. People don't. I mean, people like that don't change. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
they're that manipulative and abusive, and they just hop from one person to the other like that, you don't even realize it. But it was also my fault because I tried to give him everything he wanted and make him happy,
Mm-hmm.
but he would only make me happy at times just to keep me around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh, but then I guess it got to the point where he just got so used to it that as soon as I did one thing wrong, he would go off on me about it. So, but eventually, I couldn't do much other than do what I do every day, draw or listen to music or whatever. And then eventually, that feeling faded away and stuff because I had to get away from him, stop
Yeah.
seeing him and all that, stop
Right.
calling him, stop texting him, of course. And yeah, I actually don't do this, by the way, ever. Don't move in with your ex. I did a lot of stupid stuff with this relationship. I
We
moved
all
in with
we
him.
all did. We all made mistakes.
I don't know. I moved in with him like for like a year out of my parents' house. That was bad. That was a bad year too. It I'll just leave that one there
Yeah.
as far
Yeah.
as living with him goes. But but yeah, I mean, I did learn a lot of stuff though, because I'm glad it happened because I learned a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, of course, it sucked. But now today, I'm really glad that it happened because I know a lot more stuff than I did. So for next time, I know not to do a lot of it. Another bad thing that I did, or a bad habit of mine in general, is trying to, do my best. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, like I was trying to, spoil him. That didn't work. That just made him worse. I thought I was doing a good thing. I guess not, because he took advantage of that real quick. But yeah, I'll just leave that there. I can go on and on about it, but I don't think everybody wants to hear all that.
No,
So,
I got you. I got you. I appreciate you sharing that stuff. I know it's personal. So based on that, if you had to just address both genders, men and women, from that experience, what would you tell men and what would you tell women? Like, what would you encourage them to do, or like just what feedback would you give them based on that experience?
uh, I guess for women, don't give him everything, super early on, and pay attention first of all, because if you don't, then some of them will, just take advantage of you real quick. At least I don't know if I'm just used to it because this happens so often around here, but around here it's kind of normal. But anyways, for men, I guess I want to say be a little more. I don't want to say respectful because that's obvious, but I don't know. It was just him situation, really. I don't know. It just depends on a person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I
First of
understand.
all, I'm not good at explaining stuff. If
No,
you
you're
can't
good.
tell,
I understand you. I think we have 14 people watching, so we're doing pretty good. Don't forget to smash the like button. We are having heart to heart conversation here, only on YouTube, only on this channel. on late at night. Maybe it's be a new show. I don't know, because I'm kind of digging it, but I understand everything. So I appreciate you sharing.
Yeah, no problem. I'm. I hope somebody can learn something from it though. For real. Don't at the first red flag, please do not hesitate to either talk to him about it or just leave, because it'll save you a lot of trouble. I promise. And
Yeah.
listen to your friends, by the way, too. My
You
friends are
saying
right.
listen to your friends?
Yeah, because a lot of my friends, what they were saying when they met him, they had a bad vibe from him. Anyways, of course, I didn't see it,
Right.
but yeah, they kept telling me over and over, dude, you're just going to get hurt again. Leave. I'm telling you, just stop going to him. And I wouldn't listen because I still loved him at the time.
Yeah.
I was stubborn. I didn't want to listen to anybody. But now I really wish I did listen and just cut it off. But it was too hard for me at the time because, feelings. I don't know. I don't have to do it again, though, because I don't know.
Yeah, it seems to me like looking from a side is that the way that women um, get emotionally involved, it's harder than men do a lot of times. I think in that sense, men do kind of approach things a little bit differently, because once with women, I think once woman is in, she's in. I mean, like she's in all the way if she likes a guy, right? With that emotional connection, that's something that like you said, your friends try to warn you, you weren't having it, because in your mind, like that, this is it, right? I think with guys is a little bit differently. I think guys could be um, looking at it from a different perspective. Although I will tell you that when I was younger and I was dating um, someone in college, back in community college days, my friend warned me about the girl I was dating at the time. He was basically telling me, "Hey, I saw her with the other guy, and I knew of another guy, not knew that they were messing around, but I knew who the other guy was. So I told my friend, "Oh, don't worry, I know that guy. Yeah, he's cool. Don't worry." And then later, when I find out that my ex, she actually was cheating with the guy, um, I was like, "Ooh."
Oh, that's messed up.
I didn't even give my friend like a proper consideration his feedback. And then later he told me, he said, "Look, I was a little hurt. I was a little hurt that you discarded my feedback, and it went completely over my head, completely. So it can happen with men as well. It can happen with men because sometimes when you assume, like example that you had to do with how emotionally you were involved with the guy, and you thought that he could not do no wrong or whatever, if I understood it correctly. But my thing, it was like, you know I just thought that that person had only good intentions. I could not even think and comprehend the fact that she would consider actually cheating. That was not even a possibility in my mind. So I think I talked about it, like, again, in the past, but I think assuming anything is a bad strategy. It's like business. You can't assume anything. You have to use data to make intelligent decisions. So with relationships, you have to figure out a way to to uh, to evaluate someone, right? Like I've been joking about this, doing questionnaire beforehand, but it's about assessing the situation. Like you have to be strategic about those things, and you can be, what is the person actually does, you know?
Yeah, like I said, that one was on me for sure. But eh, I'm curious, was that your friend? Was that like your best friend, or was he just like like a college friend just to hang out with?
No, no, he was at the time. he was like, I had two friends that I spent a lot of time with, and he was one of those people. So I consider him my friend. We spent a lot of time together. We've 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 taken a couple trips together. We've hang out a lot in different setting, and so he, you know, he was a friend. So that just goes to show that sometimes as a man you could be oblivious to the process, right? So when you kind of ignoring or not recognizing what's actually going on, um it happened. It
Yeah,
happened as
that's
well.
messed up, huh? Because someone you think is your friend, and he turns around and does that. You would think that they would be, happy
You
for you and try to,
Uh-oh, I think we lost her. Shannon, if you're still around, try to get back. I think your connection dropped off. Because I think my Wi-Fi is still good. Give me a comment. Let me know if I'm still here. Um, I think I'm still here. I think I'm still live. That was a good conversation. I enjoyed it very, very much. I want to go into comments and see some of the comments before I'm going to tell you my take on why men cheat. You have to stick around. Did you give me a like, by the way? I hope you did, because if not, I'm going to be bringing my uh, ghost watcher mode shenanigans. Looks like I have 8 likes and 14 people watching. I think it's time to do the ghost watching mode again. This is where I'm start hunting for ghosts, because you're just sitting in the background floating using this free content, and you are too lazy to smash the like button. There's a little button that looks like this. All you have to do is just put your finger on this button, and that's what will constitute smashing the like button. Is it too much to ask? I am looking for you, you ghost watchers. You just sitting there listening without engaging, without smashing the like button. How does it feel to be a ghost watcher? How does it feel to be a ghost watcher? Can you tell me? 9 likes, 13 people watching. What about the rest of you? Are you too cool to smash a like button? Or you just don't like it? If you don't like it, why are you watching it? Why are you watching it if you don't like it? We have some ghosts in the house. We have some ghosts. Do you know where the like button is? Do you want me to give you directions or how to access the like button? Oh, we have 10 likes and 13 people watch. What about the rest of you? You just watching this without liking this? That's weird. That's strange. All right. Whatever. For the 3 ghost watchers, you can be ghosts. I guess I can't save you. For the rest of the community, show must go on. Let's go to the comments and let's see what people are saying, because this is the best thing ever. Oh, she said her phone died. No problem. No problem. It's up to you. You can try to jump in. But if not, we can always do it the next time too. So we've had a great conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences and your heartfelt story, because I know those things are not easy to get out sometimes. Appreciate you very, very much, Shannon. All right. All right. All right. All right. My light in the background got dim. I got to figure out the lightning. This production here is not easy, yo. You think it's easy, it's not. Let's go to the comments. I think people cheat to break ties with their partner to get out instead of talking or fixing issues in the relationship. You know, I think it's actually more difficult to break up with someone by cheating, because cheating requires effort. You can't just cheat It's not like people just lined up. Well, maybe for some people, I don't know, but I don't imagine that for the majority of people, they have just people lining up to cheat with, at least for men. I don't know about women. I think women generally have more options. Not to say that women exercise those options. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I think generally speaking, women can find somebody like this because women are in demand by men. Men, on the other hand, don't have so many options. It's only, remember, 10 to 15% of males that really are getting all the women, according to statistics. So majority of men, they don't have women lined up waiting for them. So my point being, it's actually harder to, to do all the legwork, to put yourself in a position to actually have someone on the side, right? So to your point, Jamie, in my mind, it's actually easier to have a conversation and at least, don't burn the bridges, don't become enemies when you are parting ways, and don't waste your time to, and all the effort that would require for you to find somebody else. Strong ballerina. Nope. Once you say something on the internet, is there forever. I'm tempted, though. I have a hilarious story about a library liar. Why don't you just get on live and tell me the story, Strong ballerina? I'm dying to hear it. You can't hide forever. You need to join the live at some point. Heather said, I hate to say it, but I'm starting to wonder if some men only view women as accessories to their lives instead of equal partners. When he gets over her, he's on to the next one. Look, I think there are plenty of women out there that treat men this way too. And I think people are in different points of their lives. And you said, I was starting to wonder if some men only view women as accessories. Some men do. Some men do. I think what's really important is identify who these men are, right? Sometimes it's not easy. It's important to identify what you want as a woman. Some people just want a casual relationship. If both people want the same thing, I don't have a problem with that. The problem comes in is when one person wants something and then another person wants something different, and then one person is deceiving another person. That's the problem. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your comments. Cheyenne said, do you guys think monogamy is natural or societal state of humans, invented for order and structure, but not necessarily natural? Or are humans meant for polygamy? I actually have this point in my notes, so I'm going to get back to it, okay? Cheyenne, if you're still here, please write this question a little bit later when we get to that point in the notes, in the discussion, okay? We're going to go for a little bit longer, so I hope you can stick around. I think Shannon was able to come back. Let me see. Did you figure out the internet? Can you hear me? I'm trying to bring you on right now. Can you hear me? I think you muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, my mic is on, but I can't. I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Is your camera not working?
No, I'm on my desktop right now. My phone is actually in the living room on charge, unfortunately.
You want, okay. Well, how about this? How about just some closing thoughts? I know you started talking about, you gave some great suggestions for men and women. Anything else you want to add on the topic, or anything at all as closing thought?
As a closing thought? No. I mean, I would, like I said, I would just, be careful. I caught a little bit of what you said when I logged back in, but you said to try to, recognize these people. Of course, at the time, I guess I didn't know how to, but um, yeah, I would just pay very close attention to everything, exactly what their intentions are, at least in my experience. Anyways, I know I keep talking about my experience,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean that's what I can really go off of because I can't really speak for other guys or women because
Of course.
my
Of
other
course.
friends, some of my other friends have been in the same similar, a similar situation. I'm like, well, maybe it's just a normal thing around here. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. But he actually tried to get with a couple friends of mine too, which was messed up, kind of like your situation. I was like,
Mm.
dang. But I mean, see, I know you probably don't have the time, but I could sit here for hours and just talk about different, like break it up into different things because I'm that person. I talk way too much about and try to break it down as much as I can, but I don't think it's for this live stream.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. You like the conversation and you
Yeah,
enjoying talking about those things.
I do. I mean, I think it's like super important because I know a lot of people don't. They either lie about it or sugarcoat it, or they they just don't want to take the time to talk about it because they're scared to or whatever. To me, that's not really a good thing because the more you talk about it and the more upfront and truthful you are about it, I mean, the better off you are, obviously. But I guess some people would get, you know, I guess bad feedback from their experience, or they'll have maybe people telling them, hey, you should have done this or that. After they told them, maybe they're scared of that. I don't know. But either or, I just think the more you talk about it, the better off you are. And I wouldn't worry about, like other people say as far as, trying to preach to you, know what I mean? If they try
Mm-hmm.
to preach to you like, hey, you're an idiot, you should have done this, which I already knew myself. I don't know. I don't mind talking about this stuff, but I mean, I could
Listen,
be.
go ahead. Go ahead.
But no, I was gonna say I'm just one of those people that just put everything out there. You know what I mean? Because I'm not scared to. I mean, I can deal with people's, you know, positive feedback or negative feedback, whatever they want to say to me. I don't really mind. But as long as I, get out there what I need to say and what needs to be said. You know what I mean?
Yes. You know what I think, Shannon? Now, I think that that's part of life. Um, I don't mean like traumatic experiences that meant to break you. I just mean like that you, not you in particular, people, us, people in general, we in a predicament where we're going to be very hard pressed not to get hurt or not to meet wrong people who could potentially deceive us. I think we own it to ourselves to learn as much as we can from it, yet not to become bitter with life and keep our eyes on the prize, meaning we need to know what we are after, not in a delusional way, desiring something that we don't deserve or that's unreasonable, but rather in the um, genuine way, determine what it is that we want out of a relationship, out of life. And then we got to go after these things with everything that we got, and don't stop until we get it. And I think there's a lot. It sounds, I'm making it sound simple, but it's not, because you have to understand yourself. I think as a person, you have to understand how you operate. You have to understand your goals. You have to understand your shortcomings. You have to understand what you can bring to the table. And I am convinced that now more than ever, now that I'm approaching 40 years of age, I'm convinced that it starts inside you, meaning that you have to make yourself as good as you possibly can as a person. And when you are ready for a relationship, I think that in the different, on different levels of your life, right? Like your things, let's say that you're aligning all these different things within yourself to the point where you feel like, okay, I am ready. I don't have um, pain inside, you know, or maybe I have very little pain. I am well financially. I am well spiritually. I am I am good. I'm holistic in many different ways. I think when you get to that point in life to where you feel like you can really give as opposed to just take, like when you can give, and then when you're able to recognize, when you're able to be kind but at the same time call out the bullshit, when you're able to do that, and when you're not afraid to act upon those things, meaning do call out bullshit when you see it, but yet treat people with kindness and love and respect. I know I said a lot, but
Oh no, I was just sitting here listening.
but but I think that when you're able to get to that point, right, to that internal place where you feel like you can make your own decisions without being afraid to offend other people because you know what you want, um, and you satisfied with who you are. I think I think that's a good
Right.
time to date. You know.
See, yeah. Um, of course, back then I didn't like it, but in a way, I kind of wanted it to happen because I was like, all right, if all this just plays out, the more I can learn from it. And I did. Like I said earlier, I'm really glad that it happened because I learned so much. And then, I mean, if the next one is also, I don't want to say bad, but if it is, I mean, you learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how many people can actually, you know, take all of that and go through it just to learn something. You know what I mean? But then again, you shouldn't put yourself through that. But to me, the best way to learn is to just go for it anyways and see what happens. And then if something, happens and I have to learn from it, then so be it. I mean, that it just happens. I don't know if I sound like really like a sadist or whatever, but the more stuff that happens, at least to me, the more I can learn. If that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. I think that many people actually overthink that part of it. And I admit it. I was afraid to make a mistake in the past. I was overthinking things. Um, and the thing is that you just never know what's going to happen. You never know what alternative of your decision would have been. You don't know the outcome of that decision for sure until you actually go through with it and do it. Now, it's not to say you got to be reckless and just make stupid decisions. No, but you can't be afraid to make a decision.
Right.
The best possible decision that you have at hand. You have to be able to make it, because not making the decision and not doing nothing, it's the worst. You're losing by default. If you're not doing anything because you're afraid to fail, or because you're afraid of opinions, or because you're afraid of whatever, you're losing by default because you're not doing anything. You're not even freaking trying.
Right.
And like dying without trying, that's a nightmare. That's a nightmare of a life. And I think that it's not comforting to know that we're going to get hurt. It's not comforting to know that there's a lot of bad people who's going to take advantage. It's not comforting to know that it's not going to be easy road all the time. None of these things are good, comforting to think of. But in a way, you have to go through some of those things in order to see the light at the end of the tunnel, in order to get what you want.
Right. See, I'm doing a whole lot better now, because if I did not learn from my past, I do not think I would be as better off as I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of glad I didn't listen to my friends. Like, I'm kind of glad that he did what he did, only because I got to a certain point in the relationship.
You're breaking up again. You still
I
there?
was like, all right, you know what?
Can you, sorry, Shannon, can you repeat what you just said? There were like last 15 seconds you were kind of in and out. Are you still there? I think your internet is like not consistent right now. Yeah, I can't hear you. Are you on Wi-Fi? Can you get closer to the router, or can you connect your laptop directly to the wire? Let me know if you can do it, because right now I can't hear you. I'll put you out and then you can come back when you're ready, okay? Good conversation, yo. Really good conversation. I'm loving it. We're really going deeper into this thing, and I still haven't gotten to my points yet, so you got to stick around for that. If you haven't smashed the like button, what are you waiting for? What, are you too cool to smash the like button? Whatever. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Most men don't like that hurt when it's on them. No, we don't. I don't think that anyone does. I think that when it comes to being hurt, that's unnatural. Heather, they say men need respect more than love, but I think women need respect too. I guess they prioritize it first and foremost. Respect more than love. Oh, these are tough. Why does it have to be one more than the other? Why can't it be just both? You can have love, but if you don't have respect, is that a true love? You can tell me you love me, but then if you go out and talk to me in a disrespectful manner in public or in front of our friends, what kind of love is that? What kind of love can exist without respect? I think by default, if you love somebody, you have this, you're trying to protect the person, right? That's my perception of it. If I love somebody, I want to protect her. That protection means I have to give out. I have to give, not give out. I have to give my respect. And the respect, it doesn't, again, the respect is just means manners. You know, respect just means consideration. That's what respect means to me. It doesn't mean you need to bow to someone. It doesn't mean you need to, like, you know, be their servant every day. That's not what it's about to me. Most modern women, Western women, lack accountability for their actions as well. Nothing speaks like a real deal breaker when a female says she'll never be accountable for her bad choices. Accountability is the game. Accountability is the game. If you think, I don't care what gender you are. If you in a look, if you're in a relationship, you have accountabilities to fulfill. You have accountabilities to fulfill. Nobody going to be dealing with you just because you're pretty. It is a temporary thing. Nobody going to deal with you because you're funny. Just because you're funny. You know? People not going to deal with other people just because. Yeah, we can talk about high value men and women, seeking those type of men. We can talk about very pretty women and men seeking those type of women. But long term, we're talking about long term. What is it? What is it that's going to make you stick with someone? What is it that's going to make you stick by someone's side and make you proud? What is going to make you proud? How about we're going to frame the question that way? What is going to make you proud to be someone's girlfriend? What is going to make you proud to be someone's boyfriend? If another person is accountable to you, maybe accountable isn't the right word to use in context of like a lot of relationships. Maybe we can just bring it back to respect. Maybe we can just bring it back to solid communication. I mean, do people really need a lot? If your significant other is considerate of you, they speak nicely to you, they speak nicely about you, they communicate with you, they're consistent, they are really paying attention to their actions. Isn't that accountability? I think it is. That's accountability in my book. See, I think now we're living in the day and age where people just, I can swipe right. Accountability. I have 10 more dates lined up. I can swipe right. Why am I going to be accountable to you? For what? Out of those 10 matches, I can land at least 2 to 3 dates. Those are my ads. Accountability. What is that word? Do they teach that in school? I think we should be teaching that in school. These conversations here are very important for human beings. I'm still learning these things. And I had to learn those things hard way. Look, if there is a choice between accountability in relationships class, or let's just say relationships, human relationships class, versus chemistry or physics, I will take human relationships in a heartbeat, because unless I am going to be a physician, physics physician, huh? Makes sense? Unless I'm going to pursue career in physics or chemistry, how am I going to use this? I'm going to be dealing with people for the rest of my life, whether it is in the romantic relationships, in friendships, at work settings, what have you. That is far more important skill than chemistry for a lot of people. Yet we don't teach that. There's no college course. There's public relations, PR, when you in marketing. I don't think there's a class that's called people relationships. Maybe some programs have it, but I'm pretty sure it's not like a mainstream course that everybody's taking. And I think we should. I went on my rant. If you like the rant, put hashtag rant. Hashtag rant. AARANT. I think that's how you spell rant. If you like the rant, put it down in the comment. Hashtag rant. I've also noticed men will convince their friends to leave if they're cheated on, but some women will convince their friends to work on a relationship. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. That is interesting. Nick said, it's a gender war at best with all nationalities, hetero and same sex. Heather said, true, Chrissy. Some women, women usually have more to lose for leaving too, especially when kids involved. That's a whole different story. Kids change everything. We can't even talk about relationships when kids involved. When you have kids, it's no longer just about two people. It's very different. It's very different. Look, this is what I'm not gonna lie. This scares me. The idea that I would marry a woman and then we have children together and then she just goes and changes and start acting differently. And I don't mean about evolving. I think we're going to evolve together. I mean, over time we're both going to change. I mean, just flipping a switch, being nice and all of a sudden not being nice. Because when kids are involved, it's no longer just about parents. I was thinking about it earlier as I was eating dinner tonight. When I'm a parent, I have to give my best. In my mind, the question was, should I be giving the best piece of food to my children? Because I think you're going to have a difference of opinion. Some people will say, no, we're going to just work on our kids. They need to be humble. They don't need the best piece. They need to learn how to earn it. And then other people tell you, all day, every day, your kids must get the best piece of food. Parents will sacrifice the best for their children, right? I know my parents did that for me. And so when kids are involved, things changing. It's no longer just about parents. It's no longer just about your relationship. It's about these little human beings that you got to cater to. But what I would say is that even though that's the case, and even though you have a different priority in life, I don't agree with adults, with parents letting themselves go. Because what ends up happening, from my observations, when I see parents let themselves go, they let themselves go emotionally, then that they let themselves go physically, they end up maybe getting in arguments, they end up not having a good time, they end up being stressed. Who do you think is going to suffer as a result? If you guess children, you are correct. And that is why you taking care of yourself is of utmost importance, because unless you take care of yourself, you cannot be the best parents, plural, for your children. Do you agree with that? Leave me a comment. I went on a vent. I don't even think I can say that. I vented. Oh, rant, not vent. I forgot the word that I used. I said rant, not vent. Oh my God. Some of you like my rants. I feel good. 3 of you like my rants. Well, the rest of you still watching, so maybe you hate it, but you're still watching, so it works. Hey. All right. Look, I can sit here all night. I kind of like this. This is good. All right. I'm very torn because we've been doing this for how about this? We've been going for an hour and a half. I need to get through some of the points. I want to get to the comments. Let's just acknowledge people that here, huh? Why am I being rude? We have Strong Ballerina in the house. Thank you for being here, Strong Ballerina. We have Nick in the house. Thank you for being here, Nick. Thank you. Yes, men are visual creatures. Indeed. We're going to talk about nature in just a second. So don't go nowhere because this is like very timely comment, Nick. Very timely, buddy. Even though you probably made that half an hour ago. Whoops. Heather is still here. Thank you for being here, Heather. Creasy is been here hanging out. Thank you for being here, Creasy. Phi is being here. Thank you for hanging out. Phi. We have more people here. I know we have more people here. Lanichka is hanging out here. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here tonight, Lana. We have Brina in the house from Brazil. Brazil in the house. Thank you for hanging out. I love it. We have such an international community here. I appreciate every single one of you. Cheyenne here from Virginia. Go get some food, Cheyenne. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you very much. Let's see who else we have. Let's see who else we have. There are more people here. I know there are more people here. Jamie is still here. Thank you for hanging out, Jamie. Appreciate you. We have the Blah 1990. Not sure what your name is, but thank you for being here. The Blah 1990. Appreciate you. This is super cool. Agata still in the house. Indonesia in the house. Thank you for being here. Appreciate that. This is awesome. All right, here's what I want to do. I love your comments. I love the interaction. I gotta get through the points that I've made, and then I come back to the comments. If people still here, we can hang it out for a little bit longer, but I gotta get through this, okay? I need to get a sip of water because it's about to get hot over here. I about to go off. I about to go on another rant. So I need some water. My throat is getting dry. I needed to address the comments that I jot down on the plane ride back. Jamie, I'm happy that you were here, that you are here, and that you didn't fall asleep. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, the Blonde 1990. That means a lot. I appreciate that very, very much. Lanishka said, agree, take care of yourself, your marriage, your commitment to each other. Love it. Okay, let's get to this. Let's get to this. This is my reasons, my personal reasons why men cheat. While I'm going on my rant, please comment. Let me know if you agree with those. Let me know if you disagree with those. Let me know what you think about those. If something resonates, tell me why it resonates. If something does not resonate, tell me why it does not resonate. Please, don't just put no, yes, good, bad. Tell me why. You remember Backstreet Boys? Tell me why. Tell me why. Let's do this. First reason why men cheat is biology. Some of you might not like to hear it, and that's okay. But man, biologically wired to pass out genes. It's that simple. We created by nature to be the ones to pass the genes, right? Look, if you think back to times when tribes still walk the earth, the strongest male in each tribe, he ended up mating with majority of females in that tribe. Same thing goes for animal kingdom. This, you know, if you're a lion, you battle with another male lion for for the chance to lead that group of lions, whatever they call them, a herd, whatever. And that new lion, male lion, who ends up being the boss, he ends up mating with all the females. So I think when we talk about males biology, that's engraved in our DNA. It's engraved in our DNA to pass the genes, and it cannot be discarded. This is not to be used. By the way, none of these things should be used as an excuse to cheat or not to cheat. This is just opinions. And I want to hear your thoughts about that. Remember that. These are just opinions, and try to make sense out of this. Okay? This is just trying to make sense out of this. I do believe that biology still influences the way that males behave, because I can't imagine some of you thinking like lions, mating, tribes, what it has to do with today's modern world. We're still, we are still portraying a lot of behavior traits today that we did back then when we were in tribes. We still have a lot of survival mechanism, like, for example, fight or flight reflex, that we display all the time. This is part of biology. And I think part of man's biology is to be able to pass their genes. It's male's responsibility to find a female and to mate with female. It's not female's responsibility to do that. I think that has something to do with that. I think it has this nature, like people jokingly say, nature calls. Like, nature calls, biology has a lot to do with it, with the way men are behaving and how they approach in these situations. That's number one. I think what's important for women to understand is that, yes, sometimes it is difficult to control ourselves. And I don't think it's exactly the same. I think the biology of male and female are very different. And I think that it's not the excuse. Again, I want to make it very, very clear. It's not excuse for cheating, but rather to say that this does influence man to take these steps that many men can potentially regret later. Enough said. The next reason that I came up with is men not sexually satisfied. That's just it. Satisfaction is missing. After a while, sex becomes a chore. It's like going and cleaning the bathroom. Oh my God. No excitement, no passion. It's 9 p.m. It's time for our 15-minute sexual adventure, or appointment, I should say. Right? Have you experienced that? Or have you experienced any other people who behave that way? Look, when there is no excitement or there is no passion, it gets old. It gets old. I mean, part of the reason why people love to be intimate is because it's exciting. It's different, right? It is like one of the ultimate human experiences. Sex is one of the ultimate human experiences, that nothing else like it. And if you're going to make it, if you're going to drag your feet I'm tired. Oh, are you done yet? Are you? Can you imagine if somebody said, "Are you done yet?" I don't care if you're male or female, but imagine this. Imagine. Let's just assume that we're talking about man hearing these messages from a female. You having a good old time together. You getting it on. He's into it. He's like, yeah, yeah. And then he hears from his woman, "Are you done yet?" That's just awful. That is awful. There's nobody ever should hear those words. If you think you're going to say those words, are you done yet? Don't even start. Spare me. Spare me this agony. Are you done yet? Go somewhere else with this "are you done yet" crap. So my point being, not being sexually satisfied is a terrible thing in general, because that will force man, some men to cheat. It will. You might not like to hear it, but it will. Okay? Another example, let's stay here a little bit longer. Partners, we talked about no excitement, no passion. Sometimes partner is not willing to explore sexually. I mean, it's like, how many times can you do the same thing over and over again? I mean, would you eat mashed potatoes 3 times a day? Mashed potatoes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ding, 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 ding. Today, mashed potatoes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ding, 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 ding. Hold on. I just had mashed potatoes yesterday. Oh, it's okay, honey. Today, you are having mashed potatoes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Ding, 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 ding. God dang it. I'm tired of mashed potatoes 3 times a day. Can I have fried potatoes? Can I have some stroganoff? I don't want mashed potatoes anymore. I've been eating them for 2 months straight. Give me something else. If you're giving your man only mashed potatoes, he will go looking for gravy. Oh, Lordy, I'm having so much fun. Oh, I can't stand so much fun I'm having. You need to bring gravy to your mashed potatoes. Okay? If you're not willing to bring gravy to your mashed potatoes, you know what to expect. Another thing I want to mention here, I know I'm giving a lot of examples here, but I have another note that I put down, is that man will have different energies. Some will place a great significance on exciting sex with their girlfriends and their wives. If you don't believe me, you don't have to. Ask your man. If you're not asking your man these questions, if you're not trying to get to know, I've been telling you this for a while. If you ain't trying to get if you not, let me get started again. Let me start from the beginning. If you are not trying to get to know your man, it's not a random man, it's your man. If you ain't trying to get to know your man, then I don't know what are you doing. Because if you know your man and you know the energy, the sexual energy of your man, then at least you equipped with knowledge of how to handle your man. If you're just hanging around there doing random stuff or not doing anything, just like, I think she's gonna be okay. No, things not gonna be okay. We need to know what our woman likes. You need to know what your man likes. You need to know what kind of sexual energy he has. Is he affectionate type of man? Is he not affectionate type of man? Does he like it a certain way? Does he want it multiple times a day? Is it okay with you? Is it not okay with you? How are you going to connect? How are you going to meet each other and satisfy each other? You have to you have to wonder about these things. These things not going to happen by itself. It's not just about conversation, it's about observation. Energy of your man, preferences of your man. You have to know it. You have to understand it. Just like men have to understand it from a woman's perspective. Am I wrong? Give me hashtag right if you think I'm right. Give me hashtag wrong if you think I'm wrong. But if you're going to give me hashtag wrong, you better tell me why I'm wrong. Hashtag right, hashtag wrong. Why am I wrong? I know why am I right, but I don't know why am I wrong. If I'm wrong, I don't think I'm wrong, but if you think I'm wrong, you better tell me why I'm wrong. Number 3, wanting variety. It kind of goes hand in hand with the previous point, but it's slightly different because as humans, we want variety. We naturally want variety, right? We don't want to eat mashed potatoes 3 times a day. We want something else sometimes. There's a lot of talk right now, and Cheyenne, I think you asked the question about monogamous versus polygamous relationships. There's a lot of talk right now on internet, on YouTube about monogamy versus polygamy. Am I sitting here and telling you that men will cheat if you're not polygamous? No, I'm not saying that. Variety doesn't mean just number of people. Variety can mean things that you do within one relationship. How are you going to spice that particular relationship up? But with that being said, do you know if your man is monogamous? Because there are some men that are not monogamous by nature. They're just not. They want to be with multiple women. And if you know, the question that we should ponder upon, if 100% of men on the planet Earth were given free will and they could have more than one woman, what is percentage of men that would have more than one woman? Put it in the chat. I repeat my question. If 100% of men on this planet, on planet Earth, could have a free will in terms of having more than one woman as a sexual partner, what is the percentage of men that would be polygamous? Polygamous. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. That would have more than one woman. What is this percentage? I need your guesses. Put it in the comment. Do you think it's 30%? Do you think it's 45%? Do you think it's 70%? Do you think it's 90%? What is it? What is this percentage? I want to know. Be honest now. Be honest. I'm going to get through this and then I'm going to go through all the comments. Okay? It's going to make it easier, I think. And consider something else. There are some people, there are many couples out there that have they practice polygamous marriages, which means that both partners agreed that they're going to have multiple partners. They have open marriages, or whatever you want to call it. They are accepted those terms. They agreed that this is going to be the way that they're going to handle their relationship. They're going out and they're doing what they're doing, and they are on the same page about that. Is that bad? Well, I don't know if it's bad. If they continue to be, of course, based on Christian values, is bad. That's not what necessarily Bible teaches. But a lot of same Christians, you end up getting divorced. Christians who in a monogamous relationships, they're getting divorces. And so the question becomes, if people go out and are in a polygamous relationships, but they end up staying in happy marriages, should we judge them? Should we say it's bad, it's unacceptable? I don't know. I'm quite frankly, I'm not sure, because it's not single instances that we're witnessing. There are many people that doing that stuff. There are many people that on dating apps looking for the third one. If you've been on a dating app, you've seen that. We are a couple. We're just looking for the third person to play with. What? First time I've seen it, I was like, is this a joke? How are we going to do this? Is he going to just sit and eating popcorn while we get down with his wifey? Or are we just going to have like a group activity? This is real. This is welcome to the 21st century. This is no longer a taboo. This is what people practice nowadays. Polygamous relationships. How can we put a bow on this point? Do you sure that you want the same thing as your man? Because if your man wants a polygamous relationship and you want a monogamous relationship, you know that's not going to last. That's not going to work. That's how I'm going to put a bow on it. Number 4, wanting to be wanted. Somebody else brought it up. Maybe it was Cheyenne again. No, I think it was Shannon. It was Shannon. I don't know. I forgot. Sorry, guys. I don't remember who said it. Somebody said it earlier today about, no, I think it was Felicia. I think Felicia said emotionally, man also want to be desired. And this is true. I just think that stage for man comes later. It comes after. Maybe not after. I just think man has the ability to see an attractive female. They can just come back to their biology. They can be driven by their innate feeling of passing their genes. They can be almost, this thing can kind of take over. That's how strong it can be. I think that comes first in a lot of cases. And this can come second. This can come especially after you kind of like develop a good relationship, a connection. And especially if you start like developing, I guess, feelings, good connection with your woman, at that point, in my eyes, this becoming even more relevant, because at that point you want to be recognized by your woman, right? You want your woman to tell you things that will validate you. Because let's face it, sex is easy to get. Connection is not easy to get. How do you get connection? It's a feeling. Example is your woman is telling you, oh, you're so great at this. Oh, I love making love to you. Oh, I love when you hold me like this. Oh, I'm enjoying this. Oh, I can't wait until you get back home tonight. We're going to have some fun tonight. Oh, will we? Oh, yes, we will. Okay, cool. I feel wanted. I feel good. Men need that too. A lot of times men say these things to women, but men need that too. I'm trying to think if there's something else here. I see the comments piling up. I'll be looking at them in just a moment. I'll be looking at them. Let me just finish this. Let me get through this. Hashtag rant. Here's what I wanted to say. If this emotional connection with your man is not there, especially when he gets to a point where he desires that, he will be looking for he will look for it somewhere else. He will. So if you want to think of this process as a two-step process, because earlier we talked about biology being strictly physical thing. It's what the nature called us to do, to pass our genes. That's what, that's what's happening. That's what's in our DNA, physically speaking, right? And if that's the case, wanting to be wanted, it's the emotional connection for man. It's the things that our woman does. It's the look, it's the body language, is what the woman says to us, is those things that make us feel wanted, make us feel like we are connected with that other person. Men have that too. Don't discard that. Do not discard that. As I said, getting sex is easy. You can pay for sex. You're not going to pay for connection. You can't fake connection. All right? At the end of the day, you can have great sex and you can have no connection at all. If you have both, great sex and great connection, sky's the limit. In that case, if you have a good man, he should stay put. I say should. I did not say will. I say should. Look, sometimes you might just have a bad boyfriend. You might just have a bad boyfriend. That is number 5 reason that why do men cheat? Just a bad boyfriend. Maybe it's self-absorbed, selfish. Maybe just disregard for other person. Maybe never really stop to think about the needs of significant other, really cared for the emotional well-being. Maybe not mature enough. Maybe not even thinking in those terms. Maybe never been cheated on and does not know how that feels. Maybe can't really give a rat's ass about you. There's nothing, I can't think of many more things worse than rat's ass. Rat's ass sounds like a pretty close to the, rock bottom. If somebody does not give a rat's ass about you, you're in good shape. I don't even know what rat's ass looks like. Have you ever seen rat's ass? If you have, please send me a picture because I've never seen it. But I imagine it to be a scary thing, insignificant and disgusting. But maybe this guy is just doesn't care at all. And there's nothing you can do about this one. You can create connection. You can give him great sex. He's still probably not going to care. He's a bad boyfriend. So no, I'm not telling you that everything is in your power. Sometimes things are out of your power. Let's face it. Let's face it. We can't control people. If you identify bad boyfriend, you're ahead of the game. You don't have to be in that relationship. Number 6, lack of commitment. This is the last one. I don't know if I'm went overboard with this. This might be just very similar also to the number 5, but lack of commitment it's just he may be there for you. I think it's still different from number 5 in the way that he still may be there for you. He may be sweet to you. He may take care of you, but he just does not want a commitment. He just want to be free. He want to go out and do his own thing. He love having you around. He loved the security of a relationship with you. He loved the idea of spending time with you. He does not like the idea of commitment with you and being in a committed relationship with you. Oh, no, no, no. Not him. Not this man. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. He's not about commitment. That's not what he wants. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy. He's just, you want two different things. You want two different things. Now, look, if you ask him about this, I mean, the issue is that you really never know at the end of the day, right? And men never know either. This is where people get burned a lot. Because you can ask a man, look, what are you after? This is what I want. What are you after? You know, it's like a game of poker, right? Like, are you going to show all your cards and just assume a goodwill from another person? Or are you going to keep your cards to yourself and not say anything? Seems rather complicated, right? Not to show your cards to other people. Seems rather complicated to play these games, mind games, and then expect something meaningful. Seems rather complicated. But people will do that. People will play games. People will lie. Unfortunately, it happens both ways. Like I said, it's not just like men, the only ones that doing it. Sometimes women doing it too. But men, unfortunately, will lie. They will lie to get what they want. They learn the rules of the engagement. And men comfortable lying to women to pretend commitment in order to get sex. Because in reality, you know, men know that if woman tells them I want a relationship and they tell them, look, I don't want a relationship, I don't want commitment, they know they're not getting in. And they need to get in. Biology. Part of it, remember. Not justifying lying. Not justifying that. Not saying it's okay. I'm just simply stating, I'm acknowledging the fact that it's there. Okay? So men will lie. Men will lie about these things. They will lie about the fact that they will be committed or that they will consider a relationship just so they can get some cookies. They're tired of mashed potatoes. they want cookies. My friends, those are the reasons. Those are my reasons why men cheat. These are not scientific reasons. These are based on my observation, personal observations in my own life, observations from other people's lives, observations from the knowledge that I acquired via other videos, via conversation, and so on and so forth. So take it with a grain of salt, my friends. If you're able to get anything out of this of value, mission is accomplished. Oh my God, 91 comments. I'm sorry. I know I did not do a good job keeping up with comments. Maybe I need to change my strategy next time and just try to address one thing at a time and then go with comments. But I know I would have been here for a long time if I did that. Let's see if I can go to the I think I found it. Let's see. I'm going to highlight some of them. I think seeing through things out of whack. Of course, I speak from a Bible believing perspective. I'm not going to comment a whole lot. I just want to read some of your comments, okay? I'm just going to do it this way. But we also have a brain to override our instincts. To me, that is just an excuse for bad behavior. Sorry. Biology for women too, just in a different way. Here's something to ponder, Yuri. If you guys think you need to sow seed in multiple wombs, why are some of you carrying on with the marriage charade and having flings on the side? Look, if I had to guess, Heather, nobody likes to be judged. And I don't think that that's a simple answer here. I think that I know I said I wouldn't answer, but this is too enticing of a question not to try to answer that. Well, let's think logically about this. As a male who is just going to be sleeping around with a bunch of women, who is going to be doing so openly, or if people find out about it one way or another, you're going to be judged. You're going to be judged by society. And I think you're going to be judged by society rather harshly. And nobody likes to be judged. I don't know anybody who likes to be judged by society and by other people and to be looked down upon. This is very stressful for anybody. This is not socially acceptable. This is still not socially acceptable, even though men who have multiple women, they maybe not get bad rap as women. So I can see the double standard there, but I don't think that that's going to be appreciated. It's not going to be what's the word I'm looking for? It's not going to be praised. It's not going to be acknowledged. It's not going to be recognized as an accomplishment. It's going to be recognized as a downfall of that man. And I think some men have good intentions. I think some men do want to be family men. I don't believe that there's just bunch of us just run around and just want to impregnate multiple women. No, I think there are a lot of men who want to live that life, who want to be family men. And then down the road, something happens. Maybe some of the things that we mentioned happen. Maybe there is no passion anymore. Maybe something else. Maybe, you know, things physically just don't work out. Maybe one partner doesn't, maybe she doesn't enjoy, doing things that he enjoy. Maybe they grew apart because he does not want to clean dishes and she start nagging on him. Maybe it's the other way around. Maybe they're growing apart. There's a lot of things that could be the reason here. I'm not justifying and saying that that's okay based on these things to go out and cheat with someone. But I am saying that it happens in marriages. So if it happens in marriages, in thousands and potentially millions of marriages, then how can we sit here and say that it's simple? It's not simple. It's obviously not simple. It happens to a lot of people. But I don't for a moment believe that all these people have ill will, that all these people just don't want to try, and they all just chose in reserve to cheating. I don't believe that. I think there could be, an, a series of circumstances that led to that. Good stuff. Good stuff. My anthropology class taught monogamy is a recent invention. The earliest human ancestors likely lived similarly to chimpanzees in large multi-male and female groups. Yeah, that stuff is fascinating. Then women wanted males' resources only for her children to rule out other competition, and men wanted to ensure the child is theirs. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Two can happen with women too. If there is a scenario where a man isn't sexually satisfied but his partner is, I suppose it could happen. I suppose man can get to a point where man is no longer, it's no longer exciting for man, you know, to do this, but it's still exciting for a woman. It's possible. I think that's why it's important to understand the energy, the sex drive, the passion, and really read your partner. I mean, I think there's thousands of scenarios possible. I think that's what makes this so complex, right? But to answer your question, I think it is possible. I think there is a scenario. Sexual compatibility is important, I think. Yes. By the way, before I forget, next live stream. Now I have options to do these live streams more often. I don't want to do it more often if you don't want to be part of it. I can do it in the evening like this, maybe not every day, but maybe 3 times a week. We'll figure out the number of times, but I want to know from you, would you be interested for these evening live streams? We'll call them show. How about that? It's no longer a live stream, it's a show. We're putting on a show over here. We're connecting. We're having real conversations. So if you're interested in that, give me a hashtag evening show. Hashtag in the comment evening show if you're interested in these evening talks. And let's see if I get, there's 11 of you watching. If I get, let's say eight hashtag evening show, I will do one either tomorrow or Tuesday. If I get 8 of those comments, hashtag evening show, just for fun. Let's see if we can get 8. Jamie said, I agree that one, if sex is bad or lacking, the relationship will die. Look, you can say a lot of things, but sex is an important part of relationship. It's an important part of relationship. There were a lot of ha ha ha, oh my god, ha ha ha, oh my god, ha ha ha. People were laughing about something. Tell me what you were laughing about. I have to watch. Unfortunately, see, that's what I have to keep my eyes on the comments when I talk to you, so I can get the reaction while I'm talking. So I got to get better at that. But hey, this is just the beginning, yo. This is just the beginning. Hopefully, you never know, right? You never know. I I value every moment we spend together because you just never know in life. But hopefully, that's just the beginning, and hopefully, I get better and I can really do better job interacting with you in real time. But I love seeing the emotion. I love seeing the emojis, the ha ha ha's, and your reactions is amazing. Has someone said that to you, Yuri? Oh, I don't even know. See, that's what I'm saying. Oh, are you done yet? Did someone say? I don't remember. I really don't. I would tell you if I did. I can't be spinning on that thing every damn time. You got to be putting in some grind work too. I'm. I guess I'm just gonna let this one go. LOL. I like this. Yeah, that's good. Communicate or break up. Don't cheat. Yes, that would be nice. You mean like bondage? Oh wow, this is just gets out of hand. No exploration. Boring. Depends what you eat. Mashed potatoes. Awful. Oh, this is great. Because like you said, if you ask her to try something new, there's no going back. She may not want to have to do a play on a regular basis then going forward. Yeah, it's very hard for men to go backwards. Very, very hard, sexually speaking. When man likes it, it's very, very hard to go back. I'm glad that you guys enjoying this. This is really makes me happy. Mashed potatoes in the sauna, the kitchen. This is great. The part has been somewhat something I guess I never thought of. I'm still a virgin, so I guess I've never had to experience this. So now I'm scared my sexual inexperience would push someone away. Thank you for sharing. I don't know if it will. It is actually, to be quite honest, I think a lot of men would be very attracted to that. There's a weird thing with innocence. I think for a lot of men, it's a weird turn on to where, like, when they see an innocent woman and experienced women, they want to be their first man. Some men really go far to try to take the virginity away just for, like, I don't even know, for like what do you call it, a star on their belt or something like that, so some of that stuff is not good. It's quite bad. But I think a lot of men would be just drawn to that, not in a bad way. I think some men will be just drawn to it in a healthy way, wanting to do courtship, wanting to have a good dating, respectful dating with you, and potentially make you girlfriend, and then build a relationship, just because the lack of experience, it has value. It has value for many men as well. Choking on the chicken every night is not possible. I like doing it. My jaw would hurt like hell. I need to go to bed. Chicken. Oh my god. By the way, if you just joined, we're having a great conversation. How many likes I have? How many likes do I have? I need to go to bed. It's 11:30. Yo, I have work tomorrow. I'm trying to get to these comments. It's almost 2.5 hours we've been going, and you're still here. I love you for that. Let me see how many likes we have. 13 likes, 14 people watching. I know there's some of you are new right now who didn't give me a like. I'm just here grinding it out. We're talking about choking on chickens here. Craziness. You guys just made a bunch of comments about mashed potatoes. Apparently, you like that. Felicia said, "What if the man gets tired? Like you need to stop being weak and start the engine back up. I don't ride lemons." Fast cars, Mustangs, Hellcats all day. Oh my gosh. You're supposed to include Mercedes Benz in this list. Um, Man gets tired. You know, the good news is you can work on stamina. You can increase stamina. That is can be improved. Oh yeah. Okay. I like that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, Heather. These comments are amazing. So, generally speaking, if you need variety, stay bachelor. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Now, the another interesting question is this. It might piss somebody off, but if you got married and your wife was pretty, and then your wife, let's put it this way: if husband kept himself good, still in shape, took care of himself, did all these things, but wife let herself go. Let's not even talk about children. Let's just talk in general terms. Wife let herself go, gain bunch of weight, not caring about, doing anything, not really caring, having exciting sexual life, all these things. The question for all of you is, at that point, do you think it's reasonable? Do you think that man should have the ability to exercise his options? I am talking about situation where wife does not even try. I'm talking about she's just dead weight. I don't mean like dead literally. I mean she's just lazy. She doesn't want to do anything. She does not even want to, she doesn't want to put in any effort whatsoever. She just gave up. She's on the couch eating chicken all night, doing nothing. What about that situation? Does that change things? Put a hashtag. When you answer that question in a comment, put hashtag lazy wife. I'm losing my voice. Hashtag lazy wife, so I know what question you're answering. This is amazing. I'm losing my voice. Whoa. Wow. Strong ballerina. You went hard on mashed potatoes comments. You made at least like 4 or 5. Let's go. Let's continue on. Most can handle one woman, much less 2, 3, or 4. Once men are no longer playing at being Mr. Monogamous, a lot of women would be turned off. So, how many options would polygamous men really have? It depends. I think if you're talking about a man who is a, high value man, a desirable man, he will always have options. Because there's just certain universal principles that women are attracted to. You might not like to hear it, but there's a reason why this 10 to 15% of men, he ended up sleeping with most of women. There's a reason why these women are drawn to these high value men. And so to your question, I think it depends on the man. I think that the harsh reality is that a lot of women don't care. They will share a man when they want man hard enough, bad enough. They will share a man. You can look that up. You don't have to take my word for it. That seemed to be the case. Loving this, loving this, loving this. Let's see what else we have. I'm noticing on Tinder, a lot of guys are saying they are in open relationships in their bios. I'm telling you, it's no longer a taboo. I'm not saying that it's normal, but I am saying that it's getting to that point. I'm saying that soon enough, I think that might become the norm. Maybe not the norm, but it will become just another option, just another segment of relationships, you know, because it's becoming more and more common. That just is. When you tell your partner you aren't happy, it's a chance to fix and enhance things before it gets too cheating. Some people are just lazy and unwilling, or possibly not emotionally capable. I can see it. Bam! I'm on the roll, baby. Thank you, Heather. The nightcap. A bad boyfriend will cheat because of 1 to 4 instead of communicating or enduring the relationship. A bad boyfriend will cheat because of 1 to 4. I'm wondering what do you mean by that? I'm not getting it. Sorry. Maybe it's me just being slow. Oh, 1 to 4. Numbers 1 to 4. Sorry. A bad boyfriend will cheat because of 1 to 4 instead of communicating or enduring the relationship. The point that I was trying to make is different. I was trying to put a bad boyfriend in a separate category altogether. I was saying that regardless of 1 to 4, bad boyfriend is going to cheat because he's just bad boyfriend. It's like a separate breed, completely separate individual, completely different mindset of that person, of that man. He's just not considerate. He's not concerned. Doesn't matter what you're going to do in the relationship with him. It does not matter how much you satisfy him. He's not designed for a committed relationship. He's a bad boyfriend. I didn't say horrible person. I said bad boyfriend. I just think there are people out there like that. You may do everything for them and you do everything right. He will turn around and cheat anyway. Bad boyfriend. Number 6, women feel that way too. If a man is not consistent or we detect BS. And number 6 was lack of commitment. And where's the come and go? Oh, I think I lost it. Oh no. That's what happens. Sometimes I switch the screens. Here we go. So lack of commitment in the comment was number 6. Lack of commitment. Women feel that way too. If the man is not consistent or we detect BS. Thank you for sharing. Man can have the greatest girlfriend, wife with the nicest personality, beautiful, willing to do anything for him. Slippery kitty with the suction of a vacuum, and I'm not sure what that is. Using some unfamiliar slang for me. And he can still cheat with a chick. Yeah, that could happen, Felicia. That could happen. There's not a question that it can happen, because it does happen. What interests me is why. That's why I'm listing the reasons that I can conceptualize in my head and I'm sharing with you. I am interested not just about the action. I am interested about psychology behind the action, because that's the game. If I can understand the psychology behind the action, I can either justify the action or I can argue against the action. But if I don't even understand the psychology behind the action, we're just going to be arguing and we're just going to be putting each other down, or we're going to be just practicing the difference of opinion, and that's it. I want to know the why. Let's see some good comments here. I'm not going to get to all of them, but I don't think it's about judgment. Men are praised for having Rolodex of women. Men just crave the comfort of girlfriend, wife, all in one, therapist, maid, cook, mother, and sex receptacle. I do think that there is that some men looking for comfort, they look for security in a woman. They the song woman in the streets in freaking sheets. I think that's how a lot of men approach it. They want lady in the street, somebody who can behave appropriately and act appropriately, but then they want somebody who can really be their, you know, sexual desire, dream sex partner in the sheets. I think that's that song, that little saying kind of sums it up perfectly. And with the comfort thing is because no man wants to be seen with promiscuous women. That's just not, I don't know. It is not, I think men get embarrassed of that. I think that like people can recognize that, people can point fingers, and people know what's going on with that. So men don't want to be on the receiving end of that. Men want to be proud of their woman. They want to feel like she's their woman and they can trust her. Man, I think that this is also how society still evaluates the value. You might not agree, but I think that, Chrissy, to your point, men are praised for having Rolodex of women. Some people praise, some people criticize, but I think like man who has a lot of women, he sends certain signals, it seems. And it seems that society still recognizes him as this high status man. So I don't think at large it's being looked down upon. It's not criticized enough to where men would stop and think, man, I better not portray myself this way. So, I think if you want the truth, I think as long as the society views it as a behavior of power, I think man's going to continue to do that. Man who is able to do that, they will continue to do that. I think the societal pressure has to be so hard in order for man to stop that. That is probably not going to happen anytime soon. Also, you have to keep in mind that culturally it's different in other countries. You're going to go to South America and it's going to be looked very differently. And you can research that, but it's not going to be looked at the same way as in the United States. Man with many women, he's going to be looked upon as somebody with higher value, with high status potentially, you know. And so I think it's cultural. It's certainly cultural in my mind. um but don't men have a great influence on societal norms if they make being a Hugh Hefner type of the norm? Because from what I see, they all know what's up and talk about it behind the scenes. uh Look, I heard this thing. I did not come up with that, but I heard it on some video. I watch a lot of YouTube videos about relationships and whatnot. Um, and there's like this movement that going on right now with men. Um, there's a shift, in how men perceive things and how men communicate and how men try to hold women accountable nowadays. And the example that was given in one of those videos that I watched, it was something about candy shop. You know, the example was given that women burn. Women are born with value, meaning that women are naturally desired by men primarily. Object, women are object of desires. They're born with value, and if you don't believe that, you can go on Instagram account, go type in a random name, a random female name. You don't even have to select a celebrity, just a random female name in Instagram search. You're going to see a blue check. You're gonna open up this person's name, this female's name that you never heard about. You never heard about that woman. She's not a celebrity. You're going to see her profile. She's going to have hundred thousands of followers, maybe even over 1 million of followers on Instagram. And you'd be like, okay, who's this chick? And this chick is going to show her ass cheeks and everything else. And this is exactly proves that point, is that this woman, there are tons of them out there, these Instagram models that they're not celebrities. They haven't been in Hollywood. They're not high profile business people. They just look good. They came on Instagram, they took really good pictures, and they have tons of followers. If men would do the same thing, men would never, like, even a good looking man. You're going to take a model of a good looking man, and you can do comparison. Don't take my word for it. Go and do comparison. But do the same thing. If you're going to put in a random woman's name, don't put in the celebrity male or the model male that you know. Put another random male's name. And more often than not, when you're going to do this randomized search, you're going to find that women will have far more followers. Far more. We're talking about random people. We're not talking about celebrities. When you start looking at celebrities, it will vary, because there's, celebrities this is like going to be all over the place. Depends on who it is, depends the country, depends, some soccer players, crazy popular, right? But like Kim Kardashian is ridiculous. All the Kardashians are ridiculous. So celebrities are out of the window. I'm talking about random people. So my point being, I went on this rant again. My point being is that these random women who haven't really created a value, they just beautiful, they're attractive. They went on Instagram and they have this enormous following. It does not work the same way with man. You can have a handsome man. He's going to go on Instagram. He's not going to have this kind of attention, because man has to create value in a different way. Man has to create value by, to achieving the status, right? And a lot of times it would be like through career goals, to be able to accomplish a certain level, right? And so All I'm saying is simply is how society looks at it. The difference is how society looks at it. Um, and so the whole reason I'm talking about this is because that video that I watched talked about candy shop. And the candy shop is men who create value, men who able to acquire value over time and make themselves to be um, a high value man, a high status man, who are now desired by other women. It takes longer, and it usually takes a lot more work, because it does not happen based on physical appearance for men. For women, a lot of times it happens based on physical appearance. And that example about candy shop was interesting, because what they were saying is once the man inside the candy shop, it takes a long time to get to the candy shop. Candy shop meaning that women surrounding man. It takes a long time for men to get to a candy shop. That's why you see a lot of men who are in their late 30s, 40s, sometimes even 50s, who are finally at that point, because it takes a long time for them to get to that point. And once they are in candy shop, once they are in the place where they are desired by other women, they don't want to give this up. They don't want to give it up. That is the punchline. Because at that point, they can have just about any woman they want. These women are pursuing them because they are high value men. They can get what they want without commitment, without marriage. And so this is the predicament. Now, I don't know if it's exactly answer your question, Heather, but I think when you talk about men having great influence on social norm, they do. I think they do. I think they do. And I think a lot of times in this instance in this example that I just gave you, men in this type of status, they will purposely choose to maintain that type of status and to enjoy their life, because it took so long for them to get there, and they don't want to give up the benefits that they acquired over time. This was a long explanation. Sorry if I bored you. I think my number's slowly dwindling down, but I know it's getting late. It's a great conversation tonight. I'm enjoying it. Oh, there's a lot of evening shows. That's cool. Let's see. Let's count. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like we got our votes in. Looks like we're gonna have to do one tomorrow, yo. How about we do one tomorrow? And if I get 3 guests, 3 female guests, I would like to talk about why do female cheat. How about that? How about that? If you're interested to be on tomorrow's show, as you can tell, I'm not going to bite. I'm here to exchange opinions and to share something with the community. So, how about we talk about that tomorrow? But I would like to get 3 guests because I don't want to be talking all night by myself about why female cheat. I want 3 female guests on the show tomorrow. Talk about why female cheat. Of course, it could be anecdotal. If you have some specific data to back your claims up, would love to hear it. But I think nonetheless it would be interesting conversation. So if you are willing to join as a live guest tomorrow, give me hashtag live guest. Give me hashtag live guest because I would love to have you as a guest talk about why do female cheat. Would love to hear your perspectives live. Let's get through some of these comments and then wrap things up. There is marriage counseling, but cheating never okay, and they can work out together as a couple. Encourage her. Yes, it's a good point, Cheyenne. I've been hearing about these things lately more and more. I really never thought before that I would consider any kind of therapy, or I just think it would be crazy idea. But people do it all the time, and I think it's reasonable. I don't think that that's too much to do. I think that it's sometimes you have to do it, and especially if you have somebody you love and you're like maybe hitting a wall, go to a therapist, talk to a therapist. It's a trained professional that meant to help you. Maybe she's depressed and needs to get some sleep. That happens. If it isn't that, then break up, don't cheat. Interesting. Since she's a wife, he made vows to. Couldn't he suggest couples therapy? Don't just give up, I say. Yeah, good. It's important to understand why though. Is it hormonal, medication side effects, marital issues, recent trauma? Yeah, good stuff. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Men going their own way. I vaguely recall reference to it. I think that's what it was called. That could be pertained to something else that I missed. I think people go and sleep. I think people are going to sleep. Heather again, yes, I was touching on the notion that they get married to avoid public judgment, even though they would rather play the field. Listen, there's Heather. There comes a time in I think every man's life where man has to decide. Man has to make life-changing decisions for his life, and playing the field is all good and well, but at some point men want to have a family, men want to settle down, they want to have children, they want to feel not just love from their significant other, but they want to be fathers. They want to have the sense of family in their life, sense of stability, sense of peace, sense of purpose. And I think family can give you that. Your wife and your children can give you that. It's not guaranteed. It can very well bring chaos into your life as well, as unfortunately happens all the time, as we can see by the number of divorces that we continue to observe. But the idea behind it, right? The idea behind it is that we are driven by these ideas of dreams of family, togetherness, love, support, and people being there for you during tough times, during best times, and during worst times. And there's nothing like family. There's nothing like family in this world. So it comes a time in any man's life where he has to decide, and men willing to give up playing the field and all the fun stuff because family, children, and loving wife is forever. The other stuff is temporary. When I say forever, children are going to be there to continue your legacy. It's going to be part of you. It's going to be your flesh and blood. And playing the field cannot give you that. So, I think there's going to be these choices in every man's life. And grown men are fully aware of the fact that we have a lot of sacrifices to make. But life is a game of sacrifices and gain. You sacrifice one thing, you gain another thing. You can't have it all in life. You're going to sacrifice playing the field, but you're going to gain the opportunity to have an amazing family. So that's how it goes. I think we got to the end of it, and I think people are really start getting tired. I see no live guests, so I guess I'm just going to be talking about it tomorrow by myself. Why women cheat? Well, that's going to be interesting. Let's see. Let's see what kind of comments I get tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm capable of talking about this subject. I need some women to talk about that subject. You don't have to be on camera. You can be off camera. We can just hear your voice. You don't have to show your face. So that's that. I want to make sure that you all know that. Look, community, we gotta come together. We gotta do these things. We gotta come on we gotta come on camera. We gotta get on camera. We gotta get on camera. I'm gonna give you a little bit more time. Yes, that's what I was saying. That was exactly my point. No one has to be on camera. If you choose to come in as a live guest, you can just show your picture or whatever avatar you have and simply just talk. And that's it. You have my Instagram at Russian Prototype. Feel free to message me. For now, the plan is to go live tomorrow. This was long one. Oh my God, 3 hours. Holy macaroni. This was a long one. I missed you so much. I just couldn't. I could not restrain myself from being here. This was a lot of fun. Tomorrow is definitely going to be shorter, but let's go ahead and plan on 9 p.m. tomorrow for the next one. We're going to have some fun again. Let's talk about why females cheat. Let's just see what happens. Why do females cheat? It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that show. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out the whole time. Shane, much love to you. Virtual hug to you as well. This was a great time. The Prototypes community alive and well. I miss you all very much. It's so great to reconnect. It's so great to have these conversations again, to have the live guests. Shout out to Felicia, shout out to Shannon for coming through and talking, sharing their opinions, sharing their stories. It was a great one tonight. We're going to be doing this tomorrow at 9 p.m. Get some rest. Have a great Monday. I'll be seeing you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern time. My Instagram messages, DMs are open for you if you change your mind. If you want to be a live guest, would love to see you. That's all for now, folks. Have a great Monday. I'll be seeing you tomorrow night. Get some rest. Night.